I got rich and traveled the entire world last year, and if you do exactly what I say in this video, you can do the same. And in this video, I'm gonna share with you guys exactly what that clicking point was that allowed me to quit my job, become a full-time trader, and travel the entire world. So in order to understand this, I need to take you back to 6 years ago when I was in high school. I came across a video of some guy who made over $2,000 in literally 2 minutes simply by pressing some buttons on his computer. He was trading stocks, and that got me hooked. And so what I did is I funded an account with $1,000. I had to go to an offshore broker. I had to call my mom simply to have her, wire the money because I was too young at the time. And she did it. It was a whole process. I ended up blowing up the entire account in 3 days. Yes, 3 days. And so that ultimately started the journey of me learning about day trading and how to make money in the stock market, but it was a long freaking journey. I went through an entire year of losing. And so what I ended up doing was having to get a job through DoorDash. So DoorDash and do all these things just to get enough money so I could actually fund a trading account. And this was way before they had prop firms were even a thing. This was way back in the day. I was still using custodial accounts. I was funding accounts like $1,000 each just to make this work. I was in high school. It was absolutely terrible. I was depressed. I was losing so much freaking money. And eventually I actually got things to turn around. All because I had this turning point moment where everything just started working for me. But before that happened, I was still out of money. So I had to keep DoorDashing, and I had over 1,500 deliveries at the time, literally until my car broke down. My tire came off the car, it went up the other side of the road. It was a crazy, crazy moment. Almost sued the company that put the tire on. It was a huge thing. But either way, I was safe, and I ended up having the last dollar that I used to fund my account. And then after finally doing that and had enough money to keep money in my account, I ended up blowing it up again. I had over 12 accounts that I blew up. I lost about $15,000 in a 2-year period, and I was still broke. I still had no idea what I was doing, and I could not make a dollar to save my life. It literally felt like every single trade I was taking was going in the opposite direction. I could not be that bad of a trader. I had no idea what was going wrong until something happened. And what happened was I was very fortunate enough to find someone through my Twitter account to actually mentor me. You see, when I started my day trading journey, I would have a Twitter account. I would just post all my trades. I would use it as a public trading journal. And I did that so I could just hold myself accountable, find a bunch of other people that could help me trade, and DM a bunch of traders on there that I knew. And so what happened was I found a trader on there who was very under the radar, not a big name at all, but he was like, hey, I see you're trying. I see you want to do this thing. Let me mentor you for free. And that was honestly the best thing that I could have done. And I signed up for a few other, Discords and signals groups and things like that. And it worked for a little bit. I was kind of copying other people, but ultimately it just wasn't leading to a lot of success. It was kind of back and forth. So I realized I needed to come up with my own strategy to actually make this work. And fortunately enough, I found a mentor who was disciplined enough and who didn't care about me that much to actually scream at me and yell at me that I was doing a lot of things wrong, which is exactly what I needed. So this is where the turning point became a turning point. When he told me in this exact words, he said, what is your strategy? And at that moment, I was like, well, I'm doing this and I'm trying to trade opening range breakouts and I'm doing this. And he's like, stop. What is your strategy? And at that moment, I said, you know what? I don't even have a strategy. I'm just trying a whole bunch of stuff. I'm following random people on Twitter. I don't even know what I'm doing. And that was the moment that really changed things around. Because for me, I realized in order for me to become successful, I needed a strategy that is proven to work. He gave me the best analogy. He said like a casino, right? Just like a casino owner, those are the ones that are printing money, okay? They literally just have a bunch of customers come in, and that should be the same with your trading. You should have a bunch of setups come into your setup, you trade them, and then you let that do the work. You let the edge play out over time. And that's what I was missing in my system. That's why it took me over 2.5 years to get out of that losing / break-even stage of trading. And then at the same time, I find a concept called supply and demand. And this concept was something that I really wanted to take serious because it made the most sense. It was essentially how banks and institutions move the market so you can just trade with them. And so I started my journey of trading supply and demand, but again, it just wasn't working. I would go up a little bit, make a little bit of money, and then I'd lose a lot. And then it would start to get break even and inconsistent again. And I went back to him, I said, I have a strategy, but it's not working. And he said, that's right, you need to back test. You need to figure out and be more specific with your strategy. So what I did, I spent an entire year, I have all the data, I'll put it up here, back testing different strategies, putting things in, different indicators, different moving averages, different theories, trying a whole bunch of stuff just to see if I could actually make this work. And so I started to gain a little bit of traction and started to see consistency when this happened. And so what I would do is I'd go through this process of tweaking and then testing, and then tweaking and then testing, and just doing that over and over again, because I would add a few things to my strategy, I'd get rid of a few things, I'd add this and I'd add volume, I'd add market structure, I'd add all this stuff, and finally ended with a system that is very, very easy to trade. And so at this exact moment, I am still in college at the time. I'm trading in my college dorm room. I'm still going through the motions of trying to get this to work. And eventually around junior year, I actually get it to work and I start seeing consistent profits. Then senior year ended up being really, really good. I make a lot of money. And so I decide to eventually go full-time with trading straight out of college. I then spent about another year going through trading and going through all the motions and actually using it as a full-time trader to make a bunch of money, stack up some cash, because I knew trading could still be a little risky and I wanted to have a bunch of backup cash in case things started to not work. So I spent the entire year after that just stacking up cash, not really doing anything, still living kind of like cheap, still living kind of like poor, just so I can have enough cash and have that kind of safety net for when I decided to be a little bit better and more aggressive with my trading. And then that comes where 2023 meets, okay? And what I do is I end up taking a trip to Portugal. And Portugal is absolutely insane. And I end up going straight from Portugal to Greece. And then I come back and I buy an apartment here in Miami. And then what I do is I keep on traveling. It's so much fun and I'm making all this money. And I find that's really important is that I am a better trader when I am traveling. Like I make more money when I'm traveling other than just like sitting here in my Miami apartment. And the reason for that is something that a lot of people actually take the wrong way, which is trading is not something that you actually want to be obsessed with. You don't want to focus 100% of your attention with, because you're going to start to overtrade, you're going to start to revenge trade, you're going to start to do all these things. And trading is such a mental game, it's such a mental battle. I'm sure if you guys are traders, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so I recently found out that if I am traveling, there's all these things I want to do, I want to explore, I'm a lot more busy, I have to go and do all these things. And so what it allowed me to do was say, okay, I'm just going to trade for an hour and that's it. I have other things, I have other plans. I don't care if I make money, I don't care if I lose money. I'm going to trade for an hour. If there's a setup there, great, I'll take it. If there's not a setup, no worries, I'm not going to trade it. And so it became a moment where I was literally trading for an hour each day while I was traveling. It would be way different times. I'm gonna trade at like 4 p.m., 5 p.m. Eastern. It was crazy different than trading here in Miami. But I'd trade for an hour, I'd go have dinner, enjoy the rest of my day. I'd have the entire morning, the entire afternoon to myself, do whatever it is I want, didn't have to worry about anything, didn't have to respond to anyone, literally just did whatever it was, did a bunch of cool activities, traded, and then that was it. That was the entire day. And so if it wasn't for that exact moment where I had that mentor who told me, hey, what is your strategy? Like, what do you actually trade? I never would have been through this entire past year of traveling, making a bunch of money, and doing all this cool stuff. And so the takeaway from this video is that you need to have a specifically defined strategy. And what I mean by that is if I ask you, what is your strategy? And you say something as simple as support resistance, I'm sorry, but you're not going to be a consistently profitable trader. You need to have it specifically defined, but not complex, right? And what I mean by that is you can tell me, oh, I trade support resistance, but only when price is in this scenario, and I only get in after it does this, and I only get in if it's below this moving averages, and boom. That is specifically defined, but it's simple. It's not crazy. I don't have a million indicators, but I have criteria of when to get in and when to get out. And then trading becomes a lot more easier when you trade like this, because you don't have to guess on where to enter and where to exit. You simply just follow a set of rules that you can write down, and then when the setup comes, you trade it. The setup's not there, you don't trade it. You have good risk management, you have no psychological issues, and then you can make a ton of money trading. And so by being able to come up with a real back-tested strategy that I had so much confidence in, because I went through the numbers, I went through the data, I tested everything out, that allowed me to actually become successful and profitable. Not just relying on other people's alerts, not doing any of that stuff that is not going to help you become a trader, but by having a strategy that you believe in, you have confidence in because you put in the work, you have the data, you can learn from someone else, and you just know that it works. There's so much proof out there that your strategy works. You are not going to have any FOMO. You're not going to have any greed. You're not going to have any of these psychological issues that a lot of people tend to have all the time. And so when you combine that with putting yourself in a position where you can travel, where you actually focus less on trading, it's almost like more money just comes to you. It's actually crazy, but that is the actual truth. And when you spend all day sitting in front of your computer looking for setups, that is when you actually lose the most amount of money. So if you guys did enjoy this video and you want to learn more about how I trade and what my strategy entails, I made a free video, a free training going over exactly what my three-phase system is and how it allowed me to travel and trade at the same time, even while I was door dashing, even while I was in college, while I was busy. There's a very specific system. It's a three-phase system, and I'll leave that in the link in the description below. So go ahead and check that out. And if you guys did enjoy, leave a like, comment below. I'll see you guys in the next video.